Okay, so for the 830, we're looking at these three. Obviously, and you can, after we're basing this on the Judas swing at 930. So if we see a Judas swing at 930, depending on which side we're purging, we know exactly where the market's going to go and when it's going to go there, when the trend is going to end. So let me actually move these a little bit in order. Okay, that didn't work. Anyways, so if we're looking at this Omega setup, which if you need a picture, this is the one from February 9th. So we have 830 purge, 930 is sweeping liquidity, and expands up into 1030. Now this one I think is easiest because we actually don't have a consolidation period during Silver Bullet, although it can happen. You want to see expansion most times going into 1030. The ones I do want to give notes on would be this Delta and this Alpha setup, both 830 news days. But this one here, this is the one we saw on Tuesday. When you see that 930 liquidity sweep on the other side, you're going to be anticipating a form of consolidation and then continuation. So you have two kind of windows where you want to be trading between 930 and 10. And that 10 o'clock to 1030 window, a lot of times you don't want to be trading in there. And then 1030 moves. And a lot of times this 1030, if we're consolidating here, we're going to look for a Judas swing, a turtle internal range turtle soup within that range. Same thing with this setup here. Purges liquidity over here. And the last one was alpha setup. The same thing. This we typically will just expand going into 10 or 11, and we don't want to be trading after 10 o'clock. We want to get in early on these kind of days. So if I go up to the Delta setups, only two here, but still good examples. We consolidate in here. So we have our liquidity sweep, we purge, and you can see we're already consolidating early on before Silver Bullet, this first 30 minutes happens. So we can anticipate kind of an early move. But in here, we're waiting. Obviously, you can take the low risk, scalp to 20, or if you want the full move, then we wait for an internal range liquidity sweep. So we have swing low here. Obviously, macro time, you can scalp that long, stop at the low or wherever you feel comfortable. Scalp 20 points. And then the second entry most times will be off of a internal range liquidity sweep. So that means the reason that's important is because if you're trying to get in after, like during the Silver Bullet time, and you're putting a stop at a low or a stop maybe at the low after we've purged, like a change in state, something like that, you're going to get stopped out and the real move is going to happen. So I'm telling you this because I want you to be careful of, if you're trying to trade in the Silver Bullet hour, I would say either wait for the liquidity sweep or wait for some sort of important SMT to happen between ES and NQ at specific times. So if we go to the other picture on the Delta, you'll see the same exact kind of profile. Same thing here. 930 purges, we see a large movement going into 10 a.m. And if you're trying to go long anywhere in here, like if this gap printed, right, tapped into it, maybe we're tapping into this order block, you could look at going long on a normal day. Okay, that's a reason we should go long towards the drawn liquidity. We already saw the 930 purge on the sell side. We're expanded up. We've bisi. Why not take that? Because we're going to be consolidating. You have to build more orders in. Think about the fact that we've already purged this and traded up a great deal. There's going to be traders who want to get in. They see this energetic move, they want to get in. But they don't want, they meaning the algorithm or smart money, whatever you want to say. Smart money doesn't want those traders in this move with them. It is the way I think about it. So when we have a large energetic move after a 930 liquidity sweep, people are going to be wanting to get in here quickly. So they're going to stall the market, build in liquidity to purge it again. So smart money can go long in here, right? Smart money is buying these sell stops. And then eventually we can run it up into the buy side. Now the other one, alpha setup, yeah. Same thing in here. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, let me scroll down here. You see consolidation at 10 a.m. So you can kind of section the silver bullet in between in two different kind of ways. The 30-minute candles. So if you go back and look at the pictures of your 30-minute candles, if 9:30 moves a great deal, you'll see 10 a.m. as the consolidation, and then 10:30 will move. If 9:30 doesn't move a great deal and 10 a.m. moves, then we see 10:30 consolidation, then reversal. So something like this, where we have retracement and then we kind of close back. You can see compared to, just think about what the 30-minute is doing in here. 9:30 to 11 or 10 o'clock is your 30-minute window. We open up around where? Right here. Comes down, comes up, comes back down, and then where do we close? It's decently close to this open, right? So think about that 30-minute candle is going to be an open, a wick up, a wick down, and a close very close to the open. So it's going to be like a doji candle, whatever you want to call it. So that 9:30 is that 9:30 30-minute candle has consolidated in a sense. We haven't expanded a great deal. So then what do we expect? Okay, the first 30 minutes of the silver bullet time to expand, and then we see consolidation, right? If you go back to another picture, this other alpha setup, what are we seeing here? Judah swing comes up, purges the same side, so we know, okay, we're estimated to go short until 10 o'clock. Moves down, trades into here. And we've already moved a great deal, right? We can be shorting this 2-minute gap, 3-minute gap, whatever this gap in here is. 9:52 rolls around. We could be shorting within the macro time, within the gap after 9:30 liquidity sweep. So you can see it kind of stacks in. Shorting that down into 10 a.m. Why is the first 30 minutes going to move? We've already moved a great deal. We've already moved about 120 points, 130 points. And we're expecting a movement now? No, it's gonna consolidate. Then we wait for either Judah swing, which in this case we purged external range at 11 o'clock, creating that low. And then the context behind it, the time context behind it is your AM trend is going to end at 10:30 or 11. That's when the swing point is going to be put in. So if we reverse or if we retrace at a specific time, like here we saw the 9:30 didn't move a whole lot on the 30-minute candle, and then we expanded to 10:30. This you anticipate could be the low, but then something like this, we put in the low at 10 a.m. That's what I was anticipating. I'm actually going to pull up TradingView really quickly and see where we're at. If we put in that lower low or not. But we have 10 a.m. news today, so that's the exception, right? No, we didn't. Okay. And if we look at other setups, same thing in here. Purchase liquidity expands up great deal first 30 minutes, so we're expecting consolidation. And we don't want to see this put in as the high, because conceptually this doesn't make sense. Conceptually, we obviously were trading above the 830 opening price. We still have buy side. So even if we saw maybe this shorting opportunity, we're trading back lower, maybe you saw this as a break of structure instead of a sweep. You already know, okay, we have opposite side at 9:30. We have 10 a.m. expansion, and it's not 10:30 yet. It's not 11 o'clock, and we haven't seen a higher high put in above that 10 a.m. So you merge that together and you use time and price, and you understand that, okay, where there's a high probability that we continue to expand. So you can be hunting sell stops. You can be using this as an IFBG. How do you anticipate this as an IFBG? Right? People will look at, oh, maybe this is just a shorting opportunity as we trade back into this order block. Well, no, we've taken stops and we're trading up here. So on a 5-minute chart, this is going to be a purge and a closure back above the sell side. Right? What you normally see over here at 9:30 is what you're going to see here. Here's your 5-minute chart. Perfect. Purges it, closes back above. That you can see as your proper draw on liquidity, right? So then when price retraces back into the IFBG, you don't need this bisi to form. You don't need this bisi to be traded back into, right? Because you already have a purge in liquidity. You already have your breaker confirmed by trading above it slightly there. Trades above the candle body. And now we're dipping into a now bullish PD rate. You can use that to go long. You can see that's why I've outlined these times for you. And a majority of our trading in this group has been around macros, because these macros have jobs to do when there's an objective, right? But you can use the macros. When do we know it's going to be high probability or low probability? It's by just understanding this. If the first 30 minutes as a group moved a great deal, unless there's an obvious reason why we should move during this macro, we can just wait for this one, purge. And a lot of times 10:30 to 10:45 is going to create if it's internal range, it's going to be turtle soup or reversal. So if we're looking at this one just creates the high at 11 o'clock, 10:30 to 10:45. So we don't need anything in here. But if you look at something like these beta setups, this is on a 9:30 true open. You have 3 here. This is a 10 a.m. news day, so we're going to be anticipating what 10:30 to 10:30 be very 10 a.m. to create the liquidity sweep, and we're shifting the kill zone. That's what I meant to say. We're going to be looking at 10:30 to create the high probability setup. So in this case, here's the profile. 9:30, we see 10 a.m. either can create the lower low below that Judas swing, or we just see it trade back up into the range. But most times it'll create a lower low. Trades up. 10:30 can create the high, and then you use the 10:50 to 10:45, or sorry, 10:50 to 11:10 macro as our next drawn liquidity, which in here we've already moved a great deal, but you can actually use probably an entry in here off the order block. I can't tell the time. But here's your 10:30 reversal. So you can see the 10:30 is either turtle soup, internal range, or reversing. Here, this is a terrible day. This might be a Monday. Yeah, Monday. Still in January, so 2 kind of poor price action things lining up. Chops around. We wait for 10:30. Do we have a reversal? Internal range? No. We just wait for Persian liquidity, right? So we just draw out our highs and lows. Our high up here, our low down here, and wait for 10:30. Is there an internal range we're sweeping? No. Right? There's no internal range, even this and this. Although this is external, we're not sweeping it. We wait. Internal range? No. Here is at 10:50. I'd be waiting to see how we want to react. Like this, but you can see it's not like a true Persian revert. You want to use your 5-minute candle. If you go to the 5-minute, are any of these 5-minute candles really showing the signature of a Persian revert besides this one? Right? If we draw out the liquidity, we're not really purging it and closing back above. This just looks like wicks back and forth. Right? Even here, wicks up into the gap and we hold that, or we're holding the sibi on the 5-minute. And then eventually we have external range sell side with this bisi. And this candle here purges it and closes back above the sell side. So if we go back and look at, now if you look at the 9:30 news days, I'm going to cover those. These days here, you either want to enter early or you're going to anticipate some sort of consolidation going into silver bullet hour. So this is on a Tuesday with no news. Here we go lower into lunch, but purges up here and then trades back down, taps into the sibi. And if you look at the 5-minute, it's a blatant liquidity sweep and close below, and we had SMT. So that already shows a willingness to move lower. So we can be trading that. Here's the other one. Same profile here. Same exact thing. Like, look at this picture. If I didn't tell you those were 2 different pictures, if you just glanced over it, that would be the same exact picture to you. Like, if I actually got confused when I was posting these in this notes chat because I thought I copied it. Like, look at this picture and then look at the other one. And this is a day after. This is Monday and Tuesday's price action. Same exact stuff, right? We see that 9:30 Judas, although this is on a Monday. 9:30 Judas trades up, and you can see the 15-minute. I told you to wait for the 15-minute candle. So this 15-minute candle printing, I think, is huge context for the rest of the morning. So you wait, probably at SMT above those highs, and then CISD on the 5-minute. That's where I told you to look for, right? We're not going to be, to confirm that as a reversal, obviously you want to see the signature of a reversal, the wick up or the wick down and then close back below or above the sell side or buy side. And then the second confirmation you need is the 5-minute breaker. So look where our change in state. So if we're trading up like this and 930 hits, where's the last down closing candle we want to be using? This one right here. So if we close below it or if we wick below it, break structure, that can be used as your trade. And you can see your change in state line here in blue, trades back down, macro time, trades into there. And then I've marked out this 953 candle because that's probably where you would short off the bearish order block in here, the 5-minute sibi, sorry, the 1-minute sibi and the 5-minute CISD, short, stop at the high, and then we trade back into time of day. Look at the time here, 10:45. So when you get really comfortable with this, you can be shorting this either into 10 a.m. or just shorting it into time of day and expecting a run all the way down there. Obviously, I think liquidity is probably the way to go. But if we're shorting it and we continue, you can just wait for time of day. Now, I still think that 15-minute candles are useful. So if you go to the Kappa setup, nope. First 15-minute candle, we don't see a purge on liquidity. I don't think I have the, yeah, I don't have the a 30-minute up here. But we don't see a purge at 9:30, so we're waiting for 10 or 10:40 in between there. And then we see this 9:55 candle dips into the sell side, close back above, and we have the bisi down here. So your high probability turtle sweeps will have a gap and an internal range or external range of liquidity sweep. Then we trade into here. Now look at here. Have we really moved a great deal between 9:30 and 10? No, I wouldn't say so. Opens over here, closes down here. If you look at the 30-minute candle, you can't see it, unfortunately. But look at here. Look at the open in here and then look at the close right there. Pretty close, right? So if we were to compare this to a 30-minute chart, it would be like a wick up, wick down. If you look at the 9 o'clock candle, I'm sure you could probably see it too. Here's your 9 a.m. Here's your 8 a.m. lined up with the gray dash line. 9 a.m. candle right here. Wicks up, wicks down, and closes within that range. So your 10 a.m. candle can be used to expand. You see expansion into here. Then where do you see consolidation? After 10:30. After 10:30, after we see the expansion of the first 30 minutes, then we consolidate in here. So you're anticipating a form of consolidation to happen during silver bullet hour. You have to just determine, is it the first 30 minutes or is it the last 30 minutes? And if we consolidate in the first 30 minutes, is it for an internal range liquidity sweep like we see on 8:30 news days, or is it because we're going to reverse? And you can obviously gauge that by just looking at the first. So I would say if you really want the easiest way to trade no news, it would just be by looking at the first 15-minute candle and then going from there. So 15-minute, 9:30, we see both buy side and sell side. And it's a large candle on the 15. But if you go back here, 15-minute, right here at 9:30, if you can see it, there's a closure, there's the open. So it's going to be a huge wick up and down on the 9 a.m. candle. You can see it too. Then what do we see? So here's the, let me go to the profile. Here's the profile. Similar to the other one that, I don't know where the other one was, but purge is lower, creates the high at 10:30, and then we trade back down. So once we see this expansion up, okay, so we saw the first 30 minutes is not expected to move, or it hasn't moved a lot. First 30 minutes of the next kind of silver bullet hour is going to most likely move. So we see trades up, forms a gap, respects the gap, and then we trade back down into this bullish order block that filled the gap. So that's a high probability bullish order block. Maybe you don't use this gap as a trade, but this order block that forms as a result should be high probability. You can see if you draw 50% out, the mean threshold, the candle buys are all staying above mean threshold there. Use that to go long. And then at 10:30, this candle right here, creating the high, then we reverse and complete the market maker sell model. And you can see the bearish order blocks and the gaps that form as a result during the 1050 macro too. If we go, I don't have another example for that, but those are all. Here's a. Oh, we never went through that one. So anything I'm forgetting? It's these theta setups. This is all low probability. Same thing here. 9:30 to 10 a.m. moves a great deal. Here's your open at 9:30, and here's your close. Right? I've already moved a decent amount on the 15-minute candle going into the first 30 minutes of silver bullet. So then what do we expect? Consolidation first 30 minutes. Then are we purging internal range or external range? Up here. Internal range, right? So that's going to be your internal range purge during silver bullet hour. You can either be selling those buy stops or wait for your 5-minute change in state, 1-minute change in state. Typically, though, I would say on the 10:30 liquidity sweep / reversal, you can use a 1-minute CISD. On 8:30, 9:30, and 10, use your 5-minute CISD. And then on your 10:30 liquidity sweep, you can use a 1-minute and be fine. Like if you go back to all the 10:30 pictures, here's a delta example. 1-minute change of state. Like if you go to the 5, it's probably not as visible, right? We don't see, I mean, I guess these down closing candles. We didn't close below it though. So the 1-minute change of state is probably fine. Wait for the last up closing candle to be traded through, then either go long within that or just mark it in and put the stop at the low. So if you want to screenshot this, actually, I'll send it in here. If you want to use that, you can. And then I'm going to put this into a PDF and then I'll send it into here. But I'm not going to put all of these pictures into a PDF when I release the video. I think it's good if you just go back and if you have pictures of AM sessions, I think this is the way you should take notes. This is what Elijah Pips put me on. It's just if you go into one of these days, you have your label, whatever you want the label to be. I have the day of the week, the market maker profile, which isn't needed. But day of the week, the news. And then I have from the hourly, because we were using the hourly as our daily, right? So we're drawing liquidity. And then anything after that, I have the 15. So hourly, 15. You can use the 32. I would say anything above the hourly is a little bit overkill. But if you want to do it, that's perfectly fine too. But hourly, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, and then the market profile. And then I have just a calendar view of it as well. So yeah, not a whole lot, but I would say just study. If you go back and watch the old live streams, I'm going to send this PDF out as soon as possible. But go back if you have time, watch the old live streams or anything that you have recorded or even maybe other people's executions on YouTube or even ICTs executions. Watch what he's doing and then watch if you can compare it. If you just have the profiles up on your screen and you're just watching his videos, what is he actually getting into when trading? So if you go, I sent it a while ago, but the ICT execution playlist I think is super important to study because why is he getting in? You always have to ask yourself, why is he getting in? What's the context behind him getting in? Is there anything that's high probability that I would see as a trade model myself? Let me pull this up really quickly and then I'll send it in here. It's a whole playlist. It's like 70 videos, each like 3 minutes long. So if you get the time, take a look at that. I'll send this PDF out soon. But I think we'll wrap it up there. I'll make the video either today or by the weekend. So if I don't see you for the baptism stream, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I appreciate all you guys who stuck around. It means a lot and it shows your dedication to it. So you should be proud of yourself. I'll see you guys soon. I'll send the poll out probably by the end of tonight or by tomorrow. So have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Good luck, good trading. Peace.